Elmswood was a happy village. It was a place of green trees and bright flowers. The houses were small and cozy. The people of Elmswood loved their village. They worked hard and helped each other. Everyone knew each other's names. They shared their food and laughter. Elmswood was a village full of love. Life was peaceful in Elmswood. The villagers woke to the sound of birds singing. They worked in the fields and tended to their animals. In the evenings, they would gather around the fire and tell stories. King Adero ruled Elmswood. He was a kind and gentle king. King Adero lived in a small house just like everyone else. He did not have a fancy palace or wear a crown of gold.
I believe in simplicity. A true leader should live like his people. I do not want to be different.
King Adero wore plain clothes and ate simple food. He loved his people very much. He cared about their happiness. He wanted the best for them. He was a ruler with a big heart. Every morning, King Adero would walk through the village, taking in the fresh morning air and the vibrant energy of the market. He would greet his people with a smile, a gesture that brought warmth and joy to everyone he met. He would ask about their families and their work, showing genuine interest in their lives and well-being.
How is your family doing? Are they in good health and spirits? Is your work going well? Are there any challenges you are facing that I can help with?
The villagers loved King Adero deeply. His presence brought a sense of security and happiness. They respected him for his kindness and his wisdom, qualities that made him a beloved leader. They knew that he always had their best interests at heart. They trusted him completely, knowing he would always support them. King Adero would often join the villagers for their evening gatherings, where stories and laughter filled the air. He would listen to their stories and share his own, creating a bond that strengthened their community. He believed that it was important to spend time with his people, to understand their joys and sorrows, and to lead with empathy and compassion. One year, a terrible thing happened in Elmswood. The rains did not come, the sun beat down from the sky, the land became dry and cracked.
The crops began to wither and die. The animals grew thin and weak. The river that flowed through the village slowed to a trickle.
Elmswood was in the grip of a drought. The villagers were worried. Their storehouses were beginning to empty.
The once joyful village was shrouded in fear. They needed rain, and they needed it soon.
King Adero saw the fear in his people's eyes. The drought had lasted for months, and the once fertile lands were now barren. He felt their pain as if it were his own. Every dry well and withered crop weighed heavily on his heart. He knew he had to do something. He couldn't stand by and watch his people suffer any longer. He called a meeting in the village square. The villagers gathered, their faces etched with worry and anticipation.
My friends, we are facing a difficult time. Our lands are dry and our spirits are low. But we must not lose hope. Together, we have faced many challenges before, and we have always emerged stronger. We must come together and help each other. In unity, we will find the strength to overcome this adversity.
King Adero proposed they search for a new source of water. The villagers agreed, their hope rekindled by his determination. They were inspired by their king's words and his unwavering spirit. His resolve became their resolve. They were a community, and they would face this challenge together, just as they always had. With unity and perseverance, they believed they could overcome any obstacle. For days, the villagers searched for water. The sun beat down mercilessly, and the land was parched and cracked. Every day, they ventured out with hope in their hearts, but each evening, they returned with empty hands and heavy spirits. They looked everywhere, but they found nothing. The wells had run dry, and the riverbeds were barren. The crops withered under the relentless sun, and the livestock grew weak. Desperation began to set in, and whispers of leaving Elmswood started to circulate. Just when their hope began to dwindle, a young boy named Finn came running into the village. His face was flushed with excitement, and his eyes sparkled with a newfound hope. He had been exploring the outskirts of the village, driven by a sense of adventure and a desire to help his people.
I found it! I found water! Finn shouted, his voice echoing through the village. The villagers gathered around him, their curiosity piqued and their hearts racing with anticipation.
Finn led King Adero and the villagers to a hidden spring nestled amongst the rocks. It was a treacherous path, but their determination pushed them forward. As they reached the spring, the sight of the clear, sparkling water brought tears to their eyes. It was a spring that had been forgotten for generations. The elders spoke of it in hushed tones, a legend passed down through the ages. But now it was real, and it was their salvation.
The villagers were overjoyed. Their cheers echoed through the valley, a symphony of relief and gratitude. They had been on the brink of despair, but now they had hope. They cheered and hugged each other. The bonds of their community grew stronger in that moment as they realized the power of unity and collective effort. They immediately began to channel the water from the spring to their fields and their homes. Ingenious irrigation systems were devised, and the once barren fields began to show signs of life. The crops started to grow, and the livestock regained their strength.
The drought was over. Elmswood was saved. The village transformed almost overnight, from a desolate place of despair to a thriving community full of life and promise. The village prospered once more. The market buzzed with activity, the fields were lush and green, and the children played joyfully in the village square. The air was filled with laughter and the scent of blooming flowers. The villagers learned a valuable lesson that year. They understood that in times of crisis, it was their unity and resilience that would see them through. They had faced the brink of disaster and emerged stronger, more connected, and more determined than ever. They learned the importance of unity, resilience, and the power of hope. They rebuilt their homes, their fields, and their lives, always remembering the lesson that Finn and the hidden spring had taught them. Elmswood was a happy village once more. The spirit of the community was stronger than ever, and the bonds between the villagers were unbreakable. It was a village that had faced adversity and emerged stronger. They celebrated their resilience and the strength of their community with every successful harvest and every joyful gathering. It was a village that understood the true meaning of community. They knew that together they could overcome any challenge and that their unity was their greatest strength. And it was all thanks to their wise and humble leader, King Adero. His guidance and the bravery of young Finn had brought them through the darkest times and into a future filled with hope and prosperity.